up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. All right, y'all. Catering apps, honestly, I think they're the best delivery gig apps out there at this point, at least in my opinion, okay? If you've been tuning in for a bit, you'll probably realize that catering kind of has this channel in its chokehold, right? In my opinion, I feel like it's the best way to make the most money in the least amount of time, and there's really not too much work involved in these orders. So some people have asked me in the past if I could do a comparison video on the two delivery apps that I have showcased on this channel, and that is Dlivrd and Deliverthat. Now, I've been on Dlivrd for a little bit over a year, and on Deliverthat, I had just got activated on that platform back in December. So I've had plenty of time to work both of these apps. So today, we're finally gonna go ahead and do that comparison, and we're gonna compare Dlivrd and Deliverthat, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know what my opinion is as far as which app I think is better. Now, before I actually get into anything, I do have thorough videos breaking down everything that you need to know about both of these apps. So I have my what is videos, which breaks down everything from start to finish, from signing up all the way to when you get paid. And I have pros and cons videos for both of these apps. So if you want a thorough breakdown of these apps, I highly suggest that you check out those videos, because this video is just gonna go ahead and discuss the differences between both of the apps. So just a quick disclaimer. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we're gonna go ahead and discuss is the process of actually obtaining the orders. So on Dlivrd, you're actually gonna get orders sent directly to you. So you're gonna receive a text message and you will receive a notification via the app. Now in that text message, it's gonna go ahead and give you a brief overview of the order that they're sending you. They're gonna let you know if the order is gonna be for tomorrow or if it's gonna be for today, the time you're expected to pick up the order, the restaurant you're picking up from, and the payout that you're gonna be receiving. Now, in order to accept or decline this order, you have to go into the Delivrd app. And here you can see a few more details. So from here, you can see everything you need to know as far as where you're gonna have to go for pickup and delivery. You'll see the total food cost of everything and the breakdown of the pay for the base pay and the tip. And based off of all that information, you can go ahead and decide whether or not it's an order that works for you. Now, for most of the orders, which are usually gonna be for the next day, you're gonna have about 15 minutes to respond. If it's gonna be for the same day, they usually give you about 5 or 10 minutes depending on the urgency. So make sure you have your phone on hand to check for orders and to grab them if they are sent to you. Now, when I first signed up for Delivrd, this was the only way that you can actually get a hold of orders. But after a few months, they introduced a new system. It's called the Open Opportunity Board. And from here, you can see a list of all of the orders that have yet to have been picked up. And if you see something to your liking, you can go ahead and get that order assigned to you. It's going to show you all the information that it would show you if you were getting it sent directly to you. So you can see the pay, the subtotal of the food, where you're going to have to go, all of that information. So if you see something that you like, you can just grab it off that board. Now, Deliverthat's process is completely different. They kind of work off of a first come, first serve type of basis. So depending on your location, you're going to be sent orders that are close to your current vicinity. And it's going to be up for grabs. Anybody that is in that area, they can pick up that order. Now, on that initial offer screen, it's only going to give you a few details. The only thing it's going to advise you of is when the pickup is going to be, the type of order that it's going to be, and the pickup and delivery location. You're not going to see any details as far as pay or anything like that. So if you want to see further details, you actually have to accept that order. Once you accept it, you can see all of the details in regards to that order, as far as the subtotal of the food, your payout with the breakdown of the delivery commission and the tips, as well as any other information you might want to know. So from there, if you like that order, you can just keep it. But if it is an order that you aren't really too sure about, you're like, you know what? Nah, I'm good on this. You actually have the option to drop the order and offer it to another driver. And that's going to be no penalty to you. So as long as you don't hold on to that order and like an hour before pickup, you're like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to do this no more. But you will have the opportunity to drop the orders. Like I said, if you pick it up, you looked at everything and it doesn't really fit what you want to do, you can just go ahead and drop it at no penalty. Now, really quick, this does relate to how you get orders, but this is just pretty much how you get priority and how you can get more orders. Now on Deliverd, they have an Emerald Elite Club. And how that works is you have to be in the top percentile of deliveries completed in your market. And if you meet that requirement, you'll be able to get priority on the orders being sent out. So what does that mean exactly? So every market's top percentile is going to vary. If you're in a smaller market, your top percentile might only be like 50 deliveries completed. If you're in a major city, you might be closer to like 150, maybe 200. So as long as you have that many orders completed within that quarter, you will be eligible for the Emerald Elite Club, and you're going to be able to receive the orders before everybody else. Now on Deliverthat, they have preferred and they have elite drivers. Now to become a preferred driver, the main thing is you need to pass a test. There are some other qualifications, but those are pretty easy to come by. But that test, I have heard some stories about that test. Now I think I'm like one delivery away. So once I complete that last delivery, I'm gonna go ahead and take the test, and hoping that I'm able to pass with flying colors so I can become a preferred driver, because becoming preferred means that you can actually see orders before everybody else. And that not only allows you to get better orders, but you can actually start getting multiple orders and have multiple stacked throughout the day. All right, so moving on to the next comparison, and that's going to be the types of catering orders that you can actually get. So Deliverd keeps it super simple, and they just work with ezCater. So ezCater is one of the catering companies that actually get the catering orders, and Deliverd works with them so they can connect the orders to the drivers. Now, Deliverthat also works with ezCater, and they also work with Olo, and they get orders direct from the restaurants. Now, why is this information important, you might ask? Well, it really has to do with your pay, and that pay that comes from the tips. Now, like I mentioned with Deliverd, they only deal with ezCater. Now with Deliverd, they guarantee that you're going to get paid at least $20 no matter what. So if it's a super small order, or if the customer didn't tip, they're going to go ahead and cover that cost to make sure you're getting paid at least $20. With Deliverthat, there's something called the ezCater tip pool, and it has definitely been a topic for controversy. So pretty much how the tip pool works is all of the ezCater orders, all of the tips, they're going to be put into a pot. They're getting put into that tip pool. And after all the deliveries are done, that tip pool is split evenly across all of the ezCater orders, right? So no matter how big, no matter how small the order was, everybody's going to receive the same tip. Now for orders from Olo and direct from the restaurant, you will receive that full tip in its entirety. So 100% of that tip goes to you. And remember, you can identify the type of order on Deliverthat based off of that order number that's provided. So if it's ezCater, it'll say ezCater. If it's Olo, it's going to say Olo. And if it's direct from the restaurant, it's going to have some type of acronym that's in relation to that restaurant. And moving on to the last comparison, which is going to be the pickup and delivery process. So this process is pretty much identical all the way through, with the exception of one step. So both of these apps, they work off of a task system. So for each task you complete from pickup to delivery, you have to go ahead and mark it as completed. Now, when you're first starting to go ahead and do the actual order, you have to start the task of pickup at least 30 minutes before the pickup. So it doesn't matter if you're already in the parking lot, if you're sitting at home, or if you're in another area on the way or whatever, you have to go ahead and make sure you start the pickup. So once you get to the pickup location, sometimes the app will go ahead and auto mark that you've arrived, because sometimes the GPS works, sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't, make sure you mark yourself that you have arrived, and from there you'll go ahead and let someone at the restaurant know, hey, I'm here to pick up a catering order. If you need to provide them the order number, provide them that order number, and you can go ahead and get the food all packed up and loaded up. Now on Deliverd, once you've gotten everything packed up, you can go ahead and mark that your pickup is complete, and you can start heading over to the delivery location. However, on Deliverthat, you actually have to get a signature from someone at the restaurant, and that's just them confirming that they've given you everything for that order. So make sure you don't walk out without getting that signature. But once you get that, mark that you've completed that pickup task, and then you can go ahead and start the delivery task and start heading towards the delivery location. Now, once you get to the delivery location, same thing, make sure that you are marked as arrived, and then you can go ahead and head over to wherever you got to go ahead and set the food up. Go ahead and set up the food in a nice spread, and go ahead and and take your pictures. And in some cases, you might not have to do setup at all. So if you just have to go and hand it off to somebody, just make sure you're taking a picture so you have a record that that food has been handed off. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's really all I got as far as the comparison. Now, as far as which app I prefer, you know, it kind of depends, because honestly, both of them have their pros, both of them have their cons, right? There's no perfect app, but I do like a few things that each app offers. So for instance, for Dlivrd, I do like that they send you the orders directly and you have the opportunity to actually get an order instead of doing the first come first serve. Granted, I am not a preferred driver yet, so maybe once I do get into that status, it might be a little bit easier for me to pick up orders. But for the time being, as a person without status, you know, having those sent to me directly does give me a better opportunity to actually pick up orders and not have to compete with who knows how many other drivers that are in my location. The other thing that I do like about Deliverthat is the fact that they are willing to pay you the minimum of $20 no matter what. I feel like that is a great way to get new folks on board, you know, making sure that they don't get screwed over by people who may not want to tip. And, you know, if they're going to get at least $20 for an order, you know, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a lot better than what they have experienced in the past if they've only done, you know, just food delivery or some type of retail delivery service. You know, I think that's a good way to, like I said, get people on board on the platform. The other thing I forgot to mention actually with Deliverd is they are one of the few platforms that actually give you free equipment. Now, this is when I initially signed up. I don't know if they're still doing this, so if somebody recently signed up for Deliverd, you can go ahead and let me know if they're still doing this. But when I initially signed up, they were able to actually offer me free catering bags and a few other little goodies, like I got some sunglasses, a lanyard, and a few other things, right? But it was great for me because, you know, I didn't feel pressure to buy some catering bags, and then if I didn't like it, I just wasn't stuck with catering bags that I didn't need to use anymore, right? So I do like that they allow you to do a few orders ahead of time, and if you like it, you know, you can go ahead and continue to do it. And depending on your market, once you complete a certain number of deliveries, they'll go ahead and send you some free bags. Now, on the other hand, with Deliverthat, you know, like I said, since I'm not in the preferred program yet, I'm gonna have to see how things switch up as far as, you know, how often I get to see orders once I do get to that status. But I do like the fact, which I know this is going to be controversial, and like I said, with the tip pool. The tip pool has its pros and cons by itself. I personally don't mind the tip pool, and that's just simply because, you know, you can get some pretty small orders and still get paid pretty well. Like, I think I had a Potbelly's order one time. It was like 90 something dollars. If I have the screenshot, I'll put it up, but it was like 90 something dollars, and literally it was like 2 bags of food, literally 2 bags. I put the 2 bags in my one catering bag, carried that in, and I got paid like 30 something bucks. I think it was like 36 or something like that with the tip pool and with the base pay, right? You know, where are you gonna get a 30 something dollar payout for, you know, 90 something dollars of food? You know, and I get that, you know, some people might be upset that, you know, you'll have a larger scale order and it's easy cater. I actually had a $1,100 order sent to me for Subway, and it was easy cater. And after everything was added up, because I think I got like a $5 incentive for being over $1,000. Of course, easy cater, it was anywhere between $21 and $27 for the tip. I can't remember how much base pay was, but let's just say in all, everything together, it was gonna be close to like 40 something bucks, a little bit over 40 bucks for the whole delivery if I did complete it. I didn't take that order, and that's simply because, you know, we're talking about Subway, right? Subway is cheap food, right? It's not as cheap. We ain't talking about no $5 footlongs no more. But if you want to compare it to some upscale restaurants, like Buca di Beppo, for instance, it's not an upscale restaurant, but I've had $500 orders on Buca, and I think I had just 2 catering bags, barely. I literally had like maybe 3 full trays, aluminum trays of food, and then a bag of some cookies and some other things, and like a tray of like some desserts or something. And that was $500. So imagine $500 of Subway, let alone $1,100 worth of Subway. I don't know how much food that would have been. And I just didn't feel like that was worth a $40 payout, because you're talking about setting up a lot of food. That was going to be a lot of food. Now, granted, yeah, somebody definitely took the order. Somebody will take the order. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision as far as what's best for you. So I personally didn't feel like that was going to be a good order for me. I'm not going to go ahead and take an easy cater order that's a super large order, and then I'm going to complain about it because I'm like, oh my gosh, this and that. And, you know, I know what I'm getting into up front. Usually 9 times out of 10, especially when you start doing this for a bit, you start to realize, okay, how much food you're gonna get for this restaurant, because, you know, the prices on this restaurant is like an upscale restaurant, so it might be a high cost, but the amount of food is probably gonna be lower, versus if you go to like Wendy's or even IHOP. I've seen some IHOP orders get sent to me and I'm like, $800 worth of IHOP, and this is the payout. Yeah, you probably gonna have like 3 trays of pancakes and French toast and who knows how many trays of eggs and sausage and all. It just isn't worth it sometimes. It's not gonna be worth it. Yeah, it's gonna be through trial and error, of course. Like I said, I know some people may not necessarily think that it's fair because, you know, you got $1,000 worth of food and maybe that customer did tip like $100. But you gotta split it with other people. So I completely get both sides. I understand. But like I said, at the end of the day, you're gonna take what's worth it for you. And that's really it. So yeah, that's really all I got. You know, I'm still gonna work both apps. Like I said, both apps, they have their pros and their cons. And yes, there are other catering apps out there. I think a few people have mentioned Zifty to me. I have signed up for Zifty, and unfortunately it is something that does not work for me because most of the orders, a good 90% of the orders that I have seen personally, they are all gonna be in the city towards downtown. And for me to commute all the way over there just for like a $35 order and then have to come all the way back, that doesn't work for me. So yeah, if you guys have done Zifty and you guys are having success on Zifty, cool. But unfortunately, it's not something that I can do. But hopefully this helps somebody as far as making a decision on whether or not they will want to either work on Deliverd or Deliverthat or both. Like I said before, I do have in-depth videos on both of these apps on the channel, so feel free to check those out if you want some more details from start to finish. So I would love to know what you guys thought. Are there any other things that you think I should have mentioned as far as the differences between Deliverd and Deliverthat, or just in general, if there are any other catering apps that you have used that you would like to suggest? Let me know in the comments. Now, before I go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.